So you may remember some time ago, we talked about the state of the UK chemicals industry and about the fact that out of all the big chemical manufacturers, not only the big ones, but the small ones here in the UK were very, very worried about their, shall we say, post-Brexit future, partly because of the matters of certification and, of course, safety checking. Because guess what? Well, who their, shall we say, biggest export was to? You guessed it, it was to Europe. And now we are out of the single market and customs union. This has effectively means that to try and get their correct certification, they have to jump through hoops upon hoops upon hoops upon hoops, which cost them extra hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, as well as on top of the rules for transporting and trading, the customs rules that come in under there, again, not being in the single market, cost them huge, huge amounts of money on this. And I always said this sooner or later, we will be seeing more companies move from the UK over to Europe. And this would lead to job losses. This would lead to huge losses of industries making huge, well, holes where there should be, industries there. I mean, you go back for like the chemical industry itself. Britain didn't have a chemical industry until about, I think it was like World War One, where one had to be like almost set up and kick-started almost because of the First World War. Before that, we didn't have a chemicals industry. France, Germany, they all had one. We didn't. And it looks very likely that the UK chemical industry is going to be hurt massively in the coming years. But again, this shouldn't be surprising anyone because, again, this was one of the many, many things that was predicted all the way back in 2016. So, before we do jump into this article, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, as well as a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support the channel that way. So, on with today's article. And like I say, this comes from Teesside Live, because again, hasn't really been reported much in the national news. This is very much, again, a local area issue. But again, most of this stuff, when we see this come through, is local issues. And even more embarrassingly, of course, the current mayor of Teesside in that area is a Tory who heavily, heavily backed Brexit. So we'll see what he has to say as well in this. Like I say, this comes from Teesside Live. The title of Hundreds of Teesside Jobs Facing the Axe as Chemical Firm Moves Production to France. So, hundreds of jobs could be lost at a Teesside industrial plant after a chemical firm has moved production to France. The consultation has been launched over the future of at least 90 workers at the BFS plant on the Enos site at the steel sands near Billingham. Teesside Live understands that a further 300 contract workers on site or more are due to start soon on the planned shutdown. The plant makes plastic car parts, which BFS will now source from France. The devastated workers have said the decision has come completely out of the blue. Again, this hasn't come out of the blue. The fact that they are moving production to France says this has everything to do with Brexit. So Enos owns the steel sand site, which employs workers, and it confirmed on Thursday that it had been notified of the plant's closure and the HMD site following the BFS's unexpected announcement. Dr. Geoffrey Mankey, the Corporate Affairs and Sustainability Director at BFS, said that his company had been in decisions with Enos and others for an alternative supply concepts. The alternative partner is the Butchamine HME plant in France, in which BFSS has at least a 50% share. The steel stands plant has already been idle since at least January 2020, and a spokesperson for BFS said, they have proposed not to restart the hydroxamine ethynyl diamine production at the steel sands plant in the UK. It is proposed that during the 2021, the plant will be closed. Ineos has said that it had no choice but to start consultation with staff. The company in the statement said BFSS had not notified Ineos of its plans to closure of its HTML plant located in Steel Sands. BFSS had also served notice on its contract with Ineos to supply the services to Unilateral's parts of their HMD plant until 2028. In light of the BFF's decisions, Ineos has no choice but to begin the consultation of a proposed closure of the services and utilities plant with its employees on the site. This comes after Ineos confirmed last year that the aging nitrates plant at the Steel Sands would also permanently close. The chemical firm said back in December it was shutting down the facility, and it said this was no longer commercially viable. Why on earth, by the way, is a chemical plant which, according to that what we've just read there, has a contract running up till 2028? What's changed? Well, okay, first of all, it is a chemical plant that helps make plastic parts for cars. What is now more difficult for this plant to do? Oh, that's right, send stuff and get stuff from the EU. Its most, again, profitable partner in these areas. You just have to look at the industry figures. It's laid out all there for you. Again, there's a lot of the people saying, oh, this was completely out of the blue. No, this wasn't. This was very much on the table of what was happened. Like I say, they're moving production to France. Why on earth would they just be deciding to move the production to France? If this was viable, they'd be keeping production here in the UK. But no, they're moving to France. That says everything you need to know. So one worker told the Teesside Live that after the consultation period in October of 2019, the whole site emphasis was on the BFS takeover in February of this year. We were told in October all the money for the transition and the shutdown had been granted. People have worked for months all over Christmas and New Year preparing for a shutdown that was starting this week. It's totally out of the blue. Most of us have worked at least 70 plus hours every week since January of last year, as we went from one major shutdown to this shift rota change. They've said this is because of the electric car market, as HDM goes into hard plastics in cars, bumpers, dashboards, and as far as we know, electric cars also have this. Again, like I say, you're going to see, I guarantee you're going to see a lot of people say, oh, this is just about electric cars. Well, sorry, as this guy just pointed out here, they have electric cars as well. This has everything to do with Brexit, except they're not saying it. But it is so obvious. It's the elephant in this story. You can literally see it behind the writing, between the lines. It's there. Brexit has caused this. So they also don't know if redundancy will be enhanced, which is just brilliant in a time of no work available. Another shocked worker said, we were told BFS was going to take over control of the whole thing. They'd spent a fortune on it. It had all been overhauled. The plant in France was already running. It was good news. The next phone call was, we're shutting down the plant. And we are under consultation for 30 days. Then we'll know more about what's happening. We were like, what's going on? And of course, now we get into the mayor of the Teesside, which again, very staunch conservative, very, very pro-Brexiteer, insisting that the owner should invest in Teesside, not in France. So following the announcement, the Tees Valley Mayor, Ben Howsham, criticised the owner, Sir Jim Radcliffe, saying the Monaco-based billionaire was more interested in buying super yachts and sports teams than he had in his own hard-working and dedicated workers. The mayor said, thankfully at this stage, it does not like the news will have any impact on any other businesses in Teesside, nor will it lead to any other job losses at other firms. My heart goes out to those affected by the news today, but we'll do what we can to help them find new jobs. This is because of the world-class workers we have in the Teesside that Radcliffe has been able to amass the fortune that he has. At least he could do is show them the respect that they deserve. Rather than spending the nearly 180 million on 2 super yachts, he should invest in his plants, back his workers, and save jobs in Teesside. Wow, what a conservative. What a conservative. Stockton North's Labour MP Alex Cummings said that after a period of 8 months in which has seen us lose more than over 12,000 jobs from across the Tees Valley, it is very disappointing to see another Teesside plant close down with the loss of many paid and well-skilled jobs. But I understand the rising costs that have made the plant unviable. The chemical industry is part of the lifeblood of our area, and we need to see how it can be better supported to invest in a future to retain and create new jobs, particularly now we have left the EU when they are facing all new manner of trade barriers. We really do need an industrial part of Teesside that works, not one that promises jobs at some time in the future and that fails to protect those that exist. So this obviously is going to have, I think, massive knock-on consequences of effect. We all knew this was going to happen. This is just the first one that has been tracked here. Like I say, why has it become unproductive? They don't want to say it, but I'll say it. It's Brexit. It's obvious. Why on earth are they moving production to France and not keeping production here if it's, quote, not unviable? So again, the writing is all on the wall. You had the quote from there. Oh, they're shifting focus to electric cars. Well, hang on, we make plastic car parts. Don't electric cars also have those as well? Again, you're going to see this time and time again. The more and more of these things happen, this is down to Brexit, nothing else. I'm, my heart goes out to those people who again lost their jobs, but hey, this is apparently what we were told people were voting for. They were told time and time again the problems that would arise, the problems that this would cause. And when these problems were brought to the Brexiteers, this was always the case of, oh, don't worry, that's just Project Fear. This will never happen. But no, this really is down to Brexit. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.